Stop talking about him, Cam. Max Verstappen is an Adrian Newey car merchant, a benefactor of having the quickest, the most dominant machinery. But for that, he'd be nowhere. He could never beat Lewis in equal machinery, could he? He's not one of the greats, not yet. He hasn't won 7 world championships, has he? He's too aggressive, too foul of the mouth, too quick to leverage expletives, some say. I don't like his personality, et al. These are all things that I've heard about Max Verstappen, but for the avoidance of doubt, thou shalt put some respect on his name, whether you like or loathe him. If indeed you are invested in sporting endeavour of the excellence variety, then we all need to at this stage. What we just saw at the Mexican Grand Prix qualifying was different gravy. He's on different stuff now at this stage. Nobody can ever say that Max Verstappen leverage at him the criticism that this dude is a fast car merchant. Why? Because as near as makes no difference, practically all season, he hasn't had the fastest car. That's the privilege of one Lando no wins. And where has that dude been? Exhibit A, please see Barcelona. What happened then? Exhibit B, please see Imola. Please see you as you Exhibit C, one Canadian Grand Prix. And now we get this. All session, all of the free practices as near as makes no difference. Max Verstappen hasn't even had himself a bloody car. Every time you look at the garage, the guys are underneath the car trying to fix it. There was rumour and speculation that this dude was going to potentially had to add another engine pool to the fray. Ultimately, it didn't have to get done. The guys and girls at the Bulls that are red managed to turn it around, but that meant that one Maximilian Verstappen had as near as makes no difference 0 track time. Meanwhile, the rest of them, Leclerc, Lando Norris et al, were going round. They had them smell smooth sessions, but then you get to qualifying and what happened is what always happens. Maximilian Verstappen pulls it out the bag. Max has told us on a gazillion occasions that his optimal scenario as far as outcomes from races and qualifying, he wants to gap the rest of the field to the tune of 30-40 seconds. That's how he likes to win. But the irony in all this is that F1 aficionados, by all accounts, will rate this victory, if indeed he becomes 3 soon to be 4-time champion, more than the others. This is difficulty now. This is adverse circumstances. This is Max Verstappen stooping low and pulling this championship out the fire. Yes, of course, he has 57 points between himself and Lando Norris. But what he doesn't have is a quick car, a car capable, some say, of winning and beating Lando Norris in the papaya-coloured car. Yet and still he manages to get it done. Not because of his car, but despite it this time. You'll recall that Toto Wolff said not long ago that Red Bull aren't winning races anymore. Max Verstappen is. This is the Max Verstappen show. This, for the avoidance of doubt, is the Max Verstappen era. And we and the other 19 drivers on the grid are just living in it. I've said on a gazillion occasions that this is a 2-tiered championship. You have Max Verstappen, you have Lewis on one plane, and then there are the other 18. And this dude in real time, by virtue of what he's doing in that subpar RB20, that car that can't even turn in, that car that's suffering from understeer, he's proving that he is that chap. What are we doing? You know, I read this book called The Meaning of a Sport by Simon Barnes, and he contested as far as tennis, not all points are made equal. Sometimes you've got to stoop down and do the thing, notwithstanding the fact that all of the circumstances are against you. Imagine Max Verstappen, he has rancor in the pit garage. Jos Verstappen's father of Max Verstappen doesn't like team principal Christian Horner. How would you handle that? Everybody's leaving the team. Max Verstappen demanded of Red Bull, keep the key personnel that make the car fast. Since he said that, Fallows has gone, Marshall has gone, Wheatley has gone, and the goatiest aerodynamic mind to have ever aerodynamic, Adrian Newey, has gone. Everybody has left that team. The only ones that are left are Balbo and Pierre Vacher, and it looks like, to all concerned, that they aren't fit to fix the car. The car is still slow, the handling dynamics still dodgy. If you don't believe me, you only need to go and check for one Checo Perez. Where did he qualify at the Mexican Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix? 18th. That's where he qualified, and some say that he's the true barometer of what that RB20 car is capable of. Listen, for the avoidance of that, Max Verstappen is doing it differently, and I have to put some respect on his name. Far be it for me to not mention his performance. Again, this is only for the discerning-eyed amongst you as far as the F1 community. Of course, he didn't drop it on pole. That was the lot of one Carlos Sainz Jr. Smooth operator settings, and he was brilliant all session. He's been gapping one Charles Leclerc, aka modern day Journalese, all the sessions to the tune of 2 or 3 tenths. He's brilliant around the track like Mexico, but that doesn't take away from the Max Verstappen stanza. Absolutely nailing. How did he get so close to pole in a car that's not fit for purpose? I don't understand this now. What we're looking at now as far as the adversity and his ability, Max Verstappen, 3 soon to be 4-time champions, ability to overcome aforementioned adverse circumstance. Now we're talking about something different. This is the realm of, let's say, a Prost in 86. Let's say the performance that Fernando Alonso put in 2012. These are the ones that go down in the all-time, the Hall of Fame ones. These are the type of performances that put someone's face on the Mount Rushmore of F1. Listen, for the avoidance of that, I don't think there's too many drivers on the grid that could do what Max Verstappen's doing in real time. Lando Norris can't get near him, and for the longest time, that dude has had a quicker car than Maximilian Verstappen. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing the F1 maths, whatever you want to say about Lando's mental fortitude or lack thereof, he's not a shabby driver. To compute this then, do the F1 algebra. If Max Verstappen never ever gets past or can't get touched by one Lando Norris, then where does that put Maximilian Verstappen in real time? Surely that's got to put him in the pantheon of great ones, eh? The Hall of Fame of Formula One, the Mount Rushmore of Formula One in real time. And I say all that to say this, ladies and gents, we all need to put some respect on his name, not least the naysayers who've been saying all this rubbish about Max Verstappen all this time. Oh, he's an Adrian Newey merchant. He's a fast car benefactor. Take the car away from him and he'll be nowhere. Oh, it was the fiddle brake. It was the inertia valve, some said. Without all of those gadgets, Max Verstappen is nowhere. How does he do, some said, when he doesn't have the fastest car on the grid? Well, you are seeing the answers to all of those questions in real time. Ergo, everyone, the naysayers included, need to put some respect on that chap's name. Maximilian Verstappen, 3 soon to be 4-time champion. For there is one driver on the grid, I feel, who's capable of doing what that dude is doing week in, week out. Excellence, some say, is what you do every day, not one of 365 days, not on a single race weekend. And Maximilian Verstappen is proving all of the aforementioned, the naysayers, absolutely incorrect in real time by virtue of his action. There is one driver on the grid capable of doing this. He has a name, and his name is Max Emilian Verstappen. But I digress.